Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to Durwood Stadium here at the campus of UMKC, Kansas City, for today's LAKC championship game between the 1 seed Shawnee Mission East Lancers and the 2 seed Rockhurst Hawklets. I am your host for this right now, and my name is Scott Davis. I am the head coach for the Northland Spartans, as well as an official here in the Kansas City area. Before coaching, I played collegiate lacrosse at Augustana College and also played my own high school ball here in Kansas City. Jack, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone. I'm Jack Mahoney. I'm a defender for Blue Valley West. I guess I was a defender for Blue Valley West. Now I'm going to be attending Whittier College in California to play lacrosse for the next 4 years. So kind of looking into the game a little bit, I saw you talking to Coach Garrett of Shawnee Mission East before the game. What were his keys to the game? Yeah,
so in speaking with Garrett, first of all, talking about the offense, you know, he thinks that they just need to be patient, they need to work the ball, and from an impact standpoint, you know, Rockhurst is going to be keying in on 2 of Shawnee Mission East's top players, Cade Eldred, and then number 3, All-American this year, Griffin Freeze. In their first matchup, Griffin, it was the first time in his career that he had ever been shut down completely. 0 goals and 0 assists. So it'll be interesting to see how that matchup plays out. But also, Will is hoping to, is expecting a lot from his first midfield group, which is Will Moore, Abe Laughlin, and
James Stowers,
I believe so, yeah. And he thinks that they could make a big difference in this game today if they're able to dodge successfully out of the midfield and play well together as a team. That could make a big impact in today's game. From the defensive side of the ball, Will was excited for the matchups. He felt like, from a one-on-one standpoint, he feels like they match up very well against Rockhurst. And they want to make sure that in this game they're not getting flustered, they're not going out and getting a bunch of penalties. They just want to stay home and play good, smart defense, and they feel like that'll lead to great defensive opportunities. And I saw you were speaking a little bit on the Rockhurst side of the ball. What insights did they give you?
I was speaking with midfielder Mason Vasta, who is unfortunately hurt. He's an Air Force commit, one of their attackmen, and he said he's never seen the team look more ready. They took an early night last night. Everyone kind of had a team dinner and then went to bed early, getting ready for this game. I think the biggest thing is going to be, can their attack produce?
Right.
They produce, and they beat Pembroke. Yeah. Crosby Gasaway had 3 goals. He had a couple assists to go along with it. I think the key to their game is going to be, and I think Coach Reedy said that number 16, Michael Knowlton, and number 2, Max Terrell. Michael Knowlton is a midfielder who's going to be their dodger, who's going to dodge from the top right most of the time. And then Max Terrell is going to be their lefty attackman, who's incredible on fast break. That's how they're going to score a lot of goals if they can, is to push it through Max Terrell and have him shoot lefty from the outside. Yeah,
and I think that was one of the things that Tim brought up to me as well in the brief conversation we had with him. And he also mentioned that a theme throughout this year, and there are many teams here in the league that can relate to this, is that they want to look for the best shot that they can get and not the first shot. They're wanting to try to find, you know, those base hits instead of trying to go for the home runs every single time. And they feel like if they're able to be patient, they're able to work the ball around, use their 2-man game, they will be able to do well. So that wraps us up here for the pregame. We have 1 minute till game time. Shortly, this will be followed up by the national anthem, and then we'll go ahead and get the game started.
Number 11, Fisher Roy. Number 12, Christopher Angels. Number 13, Aiden Lee. Number 15, Brendan Brewster. Number 16, Michael Knowlton. Number 17, Slayton Smith. Number 18, Sam Robertson. Number 19, Carter Elder. Number 20, Luke Looney. Number 21, Jeff Keller. Number 22, Sam Colligan. Number 23, Dan Hakey. Number 24, Tommy Eccles. Number 25, James Reben. Number 28, Simon Williams. Number 29, John Thurlow. Number 31, Dominic Monteleone. Number 35, Alex Danzo. And the starting lineup is number 2, Max Terrell. Number 3, William Muehlbach. Number 4, Bobby Freschel. Number 6, Blake Hager. Number 8, Crosby Gassaway. Number 10, Max Williams. Number 14, Griffin Lanning. Number 30, Jack Scanlon. And number 34, Michael Kuglinski. And now the Shawnee Mission East Lancers. Number 4, Abe Laughlin. Number 6, Zeke Johnson. Number 8, Dan Scott. Number 9, Will Moore. Number 10, Jack Burkhead. Number 11, Bobby Kissick. Number 12, Hank Breckenridge. Number 14, William Brousseau. Number 16, Jacob Johnson. Number 17, Clay Fott. Number 18, Corbin Carroll. Number 20, James Stowers. Number 22, Peter Grimm. Number 23, Tyler Stottle. Number 24, Ryan Stair. Number 26, Caden Reed. Number 27, Joe Kraus. Number 28, Coleman Wham. Number 32, Conley Needens. Number 36, Zach Bell. Number 38, Sullivan Goach. Number 42, Eric Bloomquist. Number 44, J.J. Ruff. And number 65, Michael Moore. And now for the starting lineup, number 1, Cade Eldred. Number 2, Charles Berger. Number 3, Griffin Freeze. Number 5, Henry Mahaffey. Number 15, Tyler Jones. Number 21, Tommy Pollock. Number 29, Philip Clemente. Number 30, Tommy Foster. Number 33, Will Wynn. Number 34, Joseph Moore. And the officials are Carlos Boyd, William Fez Valdivia, Chris Harris, and Bill Powers.
Welcome back, everyone, and we are just about to start the game. And I just got to say, it's an honor to be in here with you, Scott Davis.
Yeah, Jack, I'm pretty excited, too, to be here with you. Having all these years being able to coach you and being a part of this league for so long and getting to participate and do this live stream, I think it'll be a lot of fun today, and I'm even more excited to see what these players bring to the game today.
It's going to be a good one for sure. And it's nice to look at the beautiful weather out here.
Yeah, no kidding. The one thing that the fans in the stands might be experiencing is that it is actually pretty nice out. There's a light breeze, some clouds, some sun. However, down in that artificial turf, I am not joking. It has to be at least 20 degrees warmer. And we were just informed that the teams might be required to take water breaks halfway through each quarter. So we'll see how that plays out here. And that could actually be a factor for the game today. Rockhurst has a few more players they might try to bring through the lineup. So if the Shawnee Mission East players are getting a little bit more tired, that could affect their overall game strategy. So it'll be interesting to see how the weather affects today's game.
Especially if we see the game play out how we think, which is kind of a little bit faster. We think this is probably going to be a fast-played game or an attempted fast-play game by Shawnee Mission East. They like to get up and down the field, push the fast break, and kind of work their offense.
Oh, absolutely. And as we saw Shawnee Mission East against Northland in the first semifinal game, any time that Phil Clemente made a stopping cage, he was almost always looking to get the ball up the field immediately. So that you're absolutely right. Shawnee Mission East is going to look to move the ball quickly and score quickly as well.
So we start off the opening phase block. Mielbach versus Will Win. William Mielbach wins the faceoff, and I think he's going to be a huge player for Rockhurst today. Ground ball loose. Looks like it's going to go out of bounds off the east, and Rockhurst is going to get the opening possession, chance to set up their offense.
Jack, I think it'll be interesting to see what Rockhurst does here on this first possession. As Tim was saying, they're going to look to maybe slow it down, not necessarily and just, not try to go to the goal, but they're going to be very patient in their opportunities.
From watching, errant pass out of bounds. From watching the first game, Rockhurst was almost clinical in how they possessed the ball, just constantly moving the ball around and around. And that was a huge advantage over Pembroke. I think they probably had 75% of possession throughout the game. I think they are going to try and replicate that success today.
Absolutely, and that looks like it was a pretty easy clear there for Shawnee Mission East. Ooh.
Early shot by Abe Laughlin. And this is a matchup I think Shawnee Mission East will try and press. That's Charles Berger, number 2, and he had 5 goals in the opening game between Shawnee Mission East and Rockhurst.
Nice swim move. Excellent goal. Putting the biscuit in the basket. Number 9, Will Moore, unassisted.
Will Moore breaking ankles out here. Poor Slayton Smith there just got caught with a little split dodge. Good finish. High to low rip.
Yeah, absolutely. Will really set himself up for a great shot there Will really set himself up great there with a excellent swim dodge, getting his hands free, and firing that shot to the opposite low post.
Let's see if Rockhurst can continue to win face-offs. I think that's going to be something that's going to really keep them in this game if they can get a couple face-off wins and have those extra possessions. Just with how potent Shawnee Mission East's offense is, having those extra possessions is going to be crucial.
Face-off won by Rockhurst.
2 early ground ball wins by William Mielbach. Something we're seeing early is just how far even the short stick D-middies are pressing out for Shawnee Mission East.
Another errant pass by Rockhurst.
That 2-man pick and slip is open.
Yeah, it was certainly there. Shawnee Mission East looking to attack quickly. Now looking to settle things down.
It looks like Rockhurst may be trying to lock off Cade Elder.
Yeah, I just saw that as well. Ooh, shot rings off the post. And Shawnee Mission East retains possession.
That sophomore Zeke Johnson just beating his man one-on-one. Rockhurst not really having any help on the slides there.
Yeah, you know, I think it was an excellent dodge by Zeke Johnson there. Not only did he do a great job of getting himself to the goal, at the last moment he stepped across and towards the middle of the field, really increasing his angle and allowing himself to shoot at more of the cage and get the ball past Rockhurst goalie Michael Kuklinski.
And something we're seeing early is, even as much as we focus on how strong Shawnee Mission East attack is, that's 2 one-on-one dodge wins by midfielders for Shawnee Mission East.
Yeah, and to Will Garrett's credit, he was saying that the midfield would need to step up and play a major role in today's game, and they certainly have performed very well so far.
It's a nice face-off win by William Wynn. It looks like Rockhurst is also going to press out pretty far.
Here's another one of these key matchups. Another shot ringing off the post by Cade Eldred.
Now we're going to see the 10-man ride, and that one time it works for Shawnee Mission East.
Another one-on-one opportunity for East. No slide ready. Ooh, shot just outside by number 20, James Sowers.
I'd like to see Rockhurst kind of try and help adjacent a little bit more.
Yeah, it seemed they were getting a little bit extended out to the top side. Ooh, another great opportunity, but no backup. Rockhurst will gain possession.
So
and for those who have not seen lacrosse before, when a shot goes out of bounds, the possession is awarded to the team closest to the ball. Errant turnover by Rockhurst. Goal by number 3, Griffin Freeze.
Well, it didn't take him long to get his first stat today. He wasn't going to go empty today like he did last time.
Absolutely. He was hungry for something in this game. Positioned himself well, but more importantly, excellent play. Sticking with it, number 1, Cade Eldred. Huge turnover there that led to the goal. As we can see here, picking off the pass, one more. Griffin, he's not going to miss that.
Nope. And there we see most teams traditionally in our league kind of drop back to a zone ride at midfield. Shawnee Mission East runs a 10-man ride, and that means they pressure every person with the ball, and they get those turnovers that lead to fast goals. Shawnee Mission East moved early. Feed inside to Blake Hager. Nice pass by Philip Clemente up the field. Something else we see from East is they sub their entire midfield line after they get it into the box, which is something that allows them to kind of have more security, but also opens them up to kind of some double teams and pressure if Rockhurst is going to use that today.
Yeah, absolutely. And one other thing that can happen if there's an errant turnover by the attack, hopefully it occurs behind the cage, but if it occurs in the middle of the field, that can lead to some easy transition opportunities for Rockhurst. Excellent pass. Excellent save by number 34, Michael Kuklinski.
Here we see Tommy Eccles with the ball. Oh. Joseph Morris hyped up on that one. That's going to be a timeout by East.
That was a big turnover there for Shawnee Mission East and able to get that ball back.
And something we saw against Pembroke was Tommy Eccles was basically able to clear at will. And that kind of set the tone that East was not going to let that happen today.
Yeah, and you were just talking about that 10-man ride a little bit there. Shawnee Mission East will look to do that when they're able to set it up. However, on quick turnovers like we saw there, they're going to have their attack get up the field to the midline, and they collapsed. I couldn't tell there if Tommy had the ball or had anybody to throw the ball to, but unfortunately 3 Shawnee Mission East players were on him before he even knew it was happening.
As a coach, what do you think head coach Tim Reedy is saying to his team right now, down 3-0 early in the first quarter?
You know, I think he's just telling them to maybe calm down a little bit. They've had some great opportunities here on the offensive side of the ball that unfortunately so far have led to turnovers. And I think if they are able to clean some of those turnovers up, you know, this game is going to be right back to neck and neck. That
2-man game we talked about is already working, and it's just making those passes happen.
Absolutely. And then from the defensive side of the ball, I think they're talking a little bit more about how they're going to drop in and defend some of those one-on-one dodges. It seems that they've been leaving some of their defenders out there on the island.
I think as a defender, it's just so difficult to guard their team because when they dodge, their whole entire offense is moving. It's not stagnant, which makes slides almost impossible just because there has to be so much communication. Michael Kuklinski needs to make saves, but he also needs to communicate and kind of tell everyone on his defense where they need to be. Nice dodge by Will Moore. No slide again.
Looks like Casper might have gotten this ball out of his stick there. And here we'll have our first penalty of the game coming against Shawnee Mission East.
I'm not sure who it's against. Did you see? There's going to be another flag.
And here we can see that emotions are riding high between the two teams.
Again, I talked about it a little bit last night, but all these kids grew up next to each other, and there's a huge, healthy level of competition between them. They grew up on the same streets, playing against each other in backyards, and that can sometimes bleed over into a little extra emotion, but hopefully the teams keep it in check so we have a good, clean game for the rest of the game.
Absolutely, and I think another factor here will be, you know, how much will the officials let them get after each other and play physical? Absolutely, they're going to make sure that the player safety is the #1 priority. However, you know, it's good to see that these players are getting emotional, playing their hearts out, and leaving it all on the field. After all, it is the last game of the year.
Yeah. Both these teams like to play extremely physical. We've seen it on every ground ball already. They're going to absolutely go to war over every ground ball, which you're going to do in a championship game. But you just got to keep the emotions in check because there, Rockhurst loses a chance to go man up and maybe start to climb back into this game.
And here we're going to get our first penalties of the game. I think it's going to be a push with possession on #3, Griffin Freeze, and potentially an unnecessary roughness by #17 on Rockhurst.
We have technical on Griffin.
Correction here, it sounds like it is only going to be a conduct penalty on Rockhurst. So instead of going man down, they will instead turn the ball back over to Shawnee Mission East, who is now 5 offensive players against Rockhurst's 6 defensive players.
And I have a slight correction from the other night. Last night we were talking about how many minutes Griffin Freeze had on penalties because he had 4 penalties in the first half. Technical penalties don't count towards the 5-minute limit on penalties. So now we're going to see a double team from Rockhurst. Nice play by Abe Laughlin to get it. Good check by Tommy Ankles.
Another penalty coming up here on Rockhurst.
Three, I believe. It's going to be a hold on Rockhurst, I believe, #3, or it's going to be on Tommy Eccles, #24. which is huge. We talked about this on the Pembroke Rockhurst game. It's really hard to lose your top pole when you're playing man down. He's not just a great defender, but he's also going to be the primary person who's communicating off ball.
Absolutely. He's the rock of their defense. And now we'll see Shawnee Mission East and Rockhurst will be briefly 5-on-5 as Griffin Freeze prepares to release from the box. Man-up opportunity for Shawnee Mission East.
Shawnee Mission East was deadly on their man-up against Northland last week.
Looks like an early turnover there. Rockhurst will gain possession.
Something else with Tommy being out is he's also their primary ball handler on the defensive side. It's going to be a push.
Loose ball push. Rockhurst ball.
And here's the first time that I think Rockhurst attack has even had possession of the ball. I don't think they've had a full cycle with it yet.
Yeah, the possessions they've had out of those faceoffs have been pretty short-lived, so it'll be interesting to see if Rockhurst really, controls themselves, slows it down a little bit, and gets a strong offensive possession.
I think they're going to hold the ball a little bit until they go even, which just happened, and now we'll see their offense start to work. I'd like to see them cycle the ball around a couple times just to make sure that their defense has a little bit of a break. They've been playing a lot of defense. Nice check by Joseph Moore, first-team All-Metro player.
Excellent defense there. Shawnee Mission East looking to get the ball up the field quickly now.
There's a good slide there by number 30, Jack Scanlon. Something we are seeing, nice hit by, something we're seeing early is that because East pushes the ball up so quickly, Rockhurst sometimes gets stuck with a couple of offensive middies playing defense. There we had an offensive midi, he has no touch.
Timeout Rockhurst. Looked like Rockhurst was about to get a failure to advance there. They didn't touch the ball in the box.
Yeah, but what I was saying is just when you have such a fast push up the field, it's really difficult for Rockhurst to get their defensive middies on. And that time we saw number 2, Charles Berger, with number 16, Michael Knowlton, who is was primarily an offensive midi guarding him. So those kind of matchups are just going to give East even more opportunities. But if I'm Rockhurst in this huddle, I'm happy. Well, we haven't let in a goal in the last 3 minutes. We're kind of settled down. Now we just need to start possessing the ball a little bit better.
Yeah, I think you hit that right on the head there, Jack. Just under 4 minutes left to play in the quarter. You're not trying to gain the lead back in a short amount of time here. They're absolutely hoping they can get their first goal of their game and set the tone for the rest of the game here as well.
I think we're going to see a little bit more of that two-man because clearly it's working. It's just those passes need to be on. And the difficult thing about playing the top two-man is it's not even that they're making mistakes on the passes. It's just really difficult to play. Shawnee Mission East likes to double the ball. And I know Rockhurst worked on this on practice, is working the two-man under pressure. When you have the ball at the pick, you're going to get doubled. You're going to get a stick in your gut. So how do you make that pass regardless?
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. And one thing that we have seen in prior games from Shawnee Mission East is that any time both of the defenders involved in the two-man game are long poles, they will look to double the ball immediately and force a quick turnover.
So the ball's going to start top right with Michael Knowlton. And he's going to have a short stick on him. So let's see if they work with Max Williams and kind of work the two-man between these two short sticks up top.
Penalty coming up here on number 23 for Shawnee Mission East. Tyler Stottle.
KU football commit. Fun fact. And here's a quick slide by Shawnee Mission East. That's something, if you play that aggressive and you get beat, it's really easy to slide away. Nice dodge.
No one
There's
goes.
Crosby Gasaway. He's back, baby.
Excellent score there by number 8, Crosby Gassaway, making a great hitch move to get away from his defender and burying the biscuit on the backside of the net.
Looks like a little comical. Blake Hager's helmet stuck in the hug on Crosby Gassaway.
Blake was just over there reminding Crosby as to why this is why they can't have nice things.
Exactly. That's an excellent dodge by Crosby Gassaway, starting it off early. And it's still stuck. Oh, here's an instant replay. Just a nice little hezzy hey.
Switching to his left hand, getting to the top of the field, taking that extra step, and burying it to the opposite side low there.
And there you see the hug from Blake Hager that got the helmet stuck in the head. Looks like they have it all figured out. Now we have a 2-goal game.
And it looks like Shawnee Mission East is still man down. We'll get an update here on what the penalty was.
Because of the antics with the helmet, I have no idea what the call was. I was just too engrossed in what was the saga going down behind the field.
Right, and here we can see Rockhurst trying to play some make-it-take-it lacrosse.
Oh. I believe it's going to be a timeout by Rockhurst. So here as Rockhurst has a chance to go man up and make this a 1-goal game. East plays really far out, so you're going to have to look for the skip lanes between kind of their players. The nice thing is Rockhurst actually plays a similar man down, so I'm sure in practice Rockhurst has seen the look of having to play against a team that presses really far out. I look for them to kind of use something that Jack Staker did against them last week with Pembroke. He kind of pushed from X and then found open shooters up top. Rockhurst has 2 open shooters, Jeff Keller and Michael Knowlton, who will both take rips from outside and can both sting it.
Yeah, you can't forget about Crosby Gassaway either. He'll be working on the right side of the field, I believe, but it'll be interesting to see what Rockhurst comes out of the huddle with here.
Looks like they're cooking something up. They've been in there for a while.
And as a clarification, we did learn that the penalty was a cross-check on number 23, Tyler Stottle. Looks like they'll be man down for approximately another 45 seconds.
And it looks like Crosby's going to be playing that X role that Jack Staker did for Pembroke. Michael Nolan's going to start top right. Another dodge by Crosby Gassaway. Nice takeaway check by number 30, Tommy Foster.
Shawnee Mission East to be careful here. Excellent move by Foster.
It's not on. It's not on.
Almost a turnover, but Shawnee Mission East will retain possession.
So now we're going to see a little double team. Ooh, nice move by Wilmore. Bobby Freshel picks up the ground ball. I look for Rockhurst. They're still man up, so I believe they're probably going to set up. Someone needs to get open for Colin McCann.
Excellent
Nice
save.
Look for Rockhurst to try and slow it down a little bit here. Actually, no one on Blake Hager. Huge save by Philip Clemente on the doorstop.
Rockhurst in the crease. It'll be Shawnee Mission ball.
Beautiful save by Clemente. And that's nice to have. A couple early saves that kind of just get the nerves out and make sure you're ready to play. Drop pass there allows Rockhurst to be able to ride.
Errant pass by Shawnee Mission East. Will he keep it in bounds?
Nice play by Henry Mahaffey.
Unfortunately, playing the ball from out of bounds, it will remain Rockhurst ball.
So now we see something a little uncharacteristic by East. There's a couple mistakes on the clear.
Looks like they were maybe trying to go a little bit too quickly up the field, and it led to that turnover. You know, one thing I noticed, Jack, from the last possession is that because Shawnee Mission East slid to Rockhurst's midfield dodger so early, Rockhurst had some open players in the back post who were very open, and that could be a problem for East if they're not defending the backside.
Yeah, and here we see that two-man again on the two short six. Well played by Shawnee Mission East, short six D-middies. Something I like about Shawnee Mission East is they take pride in every part of the game. These two short sticks just love playing D-midi. Drop pass by Blake Hager. Let's see if Rockhurst can continue their success on the ride. There's someone open up top middle.
Another great pass by the goalie, Philip Clemente.
And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So early lead for Shawnee Mission East, but I think Rockhurst would probably have the advantage just kind of on the momentum side. They held East scoreless for probably the last 6 minutes of that quarter and got one back of their own.
Yeah, absolutely, and they had a few opportunities there right in front of the cage that sophomore goalie Philip Clemente shut down. Really excellent job. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with you at the start of the second quarter.
Welcome back, everyone. We're about to start the second quarter. And what do you think East is going to set up? Or do they have no, they do not have possession. So I think this opening faceoff is going to be crucial to see how this second quarter kind of goes. That first quarter was pretty back and forth, I would say. And similar to the first two games that we saw this weekend, you kind of saw the team settle in the later part of the first quarter. That's the first 6 minutes of the game are really hectic. Ball moving up and down the field a lot, errant passes. But once each team can kind of settle into the game, I think you'll see the true teams come out, and that's what we saw throughout the last 6 or so minutes of the game.
Yeah, Jack, I think you hit that one right on the head. You know, as we were talking about, all these players are playing with so much emotion, so sometimes you can let that emotion get to you in the early parts of the game, play a little bit sloppy, and it seems that some of that sloppiness favored what Shawnee Mission East was trying to accomplish. However, Rockhurst, even though the score is 3-1, they are very much in this game and have had a few opportunities that could have very well resulted in goals. This is a very close game.
Big opening face-off to start this quarter.
Face-off won by number 33, Will Wynn.
And something we see is Charles Berger's a really fast player, and he likes to use a speed dodge with a face dodge. So if I'm number 30, I'm kind of sitting in and letting him come to me.
Yeah, let him make that move early and then drop step and then play good positional defense.
Exactly. Beautiful defense by William Mielbach. Nice save by Michael Kuklinski.
You know, something interesting I just saw there, Jack, is that because Rockhurst is locking off number 3, Griffin Fries in the backside, Tommy Eccles was not available for a 2-slide, which left Will Moore wide open on the crease.
You're going to have those top middies kind of sucked down and trying to fill the hole left by Tommy if he's going to be locking off Griffin the whole game.
Absolutely. Here we see an opportunity for Shawnee Mission East.
Shawnee Mission East is really disciplined in the fact that they are constantly pressing on their one-on-one matchups, but they're always moving the ball, and they're always kind of looking for the best shot, which is what Tim Reedy wants to do with Rockhurst.
Yeah, and absolutely, Jack. We just saw there number 30, Jack Scanlon for Rockhurst with an excellent defensive stand, turning the ball over Charlie Berger.
Nice pass up the middle. Dangerous, but... And there's the finish.
Excellent finish by number 8, Crosby Gassaway, faking the goalie low and sticking that cheese up top.
2 early goals for Crosby Gassaway, and he's picking up right where he left off.
You know, Crosby is a senior for Rockhurst here that has done a lot for Rockhurst this season.
And there's the helmets. That is the same player who has helmet stuck with another player.
You know, it doesn't look like we'll get it here on replay, but Crosby positioned himself really well in that fast break, got open,
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here's the replay. Oh, the celly. I love seeing the celly.
And as you can tell this time, Blake Hager's helmet does not get stuck to Crosby Gassaway.
He actually doesn't go for the big hug. He kind of goes for a nice little pat on the back.
Yeah, it looked like one of those awkward side hugs instead of the full-on hug, Jack.
Fun fact, Crosby Gassaway has a gecko named Maximilian. We got a 1-goal game.
Looks like another face-off infraction there. Shawnee Mission East will get the ball.
Nice takeaway check by Slayton Smith, the defensive midi.
Excellent move there by number 30, Tommy Foster.
Kuklinski out of the net.
Oh! That'll be a high hit.
And Rockhurst is not going to take kindly to them doing that to their goalie.
Oh, Rockhurst needs to be careful here. Rockhurst needs to be careful. Yeah, this is breaking one of those unwritten rules in sports, Jack. Going after the goalie is a dangerous thing to do, and that led to what could have been a very dangerous situation.
I understand going for the hit there. It's kind of just a play, bump on play, but the only thing I take a little bit of offense to is just how high it was.
It looks like Rockhurst is begging and pleading for a full-time serve penalty here, but it looks like official Carlos Boyd has him for a 1-minute cross-checking.
As much as I like that you saw Tommy Eccles, who's a football player, defending his brother, going up and getting I didn't see who made the hit, but whoever it was, he kind of got in his face. But the Rockhurst guys all came and pulled him off and kind of said, look, this game's bigger than that. So I think it's a huge thing. They kind of came together and pulled him off.
Yeah, you know, and as we've seen in many sports throughout the country in the past few years, there's been an emphasis put on protecting the players, especially with contact at or directed towards the player's helmet. And there we saw that cross-check, rode up high. It looks like it might have hit him in the chest first and then rode up high. So I think that's why Rockhurst was hoping to get a full-time served penalty on that cross-checking foul.
Good save by Philip Clemente.
Opportunity here for Rockhurst. Ooh.
Got to be some court, I guess no call there, but looks like there should have been probably something on that.
You know, I do like that no call, Jack. Mainly because you're letting these players play. You know, anytime you have that player running across the middle of the field with multiple defenders on him, you know, you're going to get a little bit of a hard check or a push from the back. And I'm happy to see that the officials are letting them play those out and not calling every single minor infraction.
You know what I'm loving? Just the aggressiveness on these ground balls. It's just great to see.
Opportunity here. Shot hit the post from number 20, James Stowers.
Here's Tommy Eccles getting the chance to clear it again. There's Max
Opportunity
Williams,
for
nice pass.
Rockhurst. Feed to the back post. Goal.
Blake Hager
Excellent
with the
feed
high-to-high finish.
Excellent feed by number 2, Max Terrell, really putting himself in the position to see the full field and understand the opportunity, being the quarterback of the offense and finding his player on the back post, and then an excellent finish by number 6, senior Blake Hager.
Let me tell you what, we got a game going on. This is just a great play by Max Terrell, baiting the defense and then making a perfect pass to Blake Hager.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. And one of the things that I tell my players when they're working in those odd man situations is we want that defensive player to give the offensive player their commitment, but we don't want their contact. And that's what we saw there. All it takes is one step from the Shawnee Mission East defender. Rockhurst feeds the ball backside, and now we're tied up 3 apiece.
And now Rockhurst is a sideline that's amped up, which is traditionally what Shawnee Mission East does against other teams.
Wow, Jack. Oh! Turnover leads to Shawnee Mission East on the clear here. Shawnee Mission East with an opportunity.
That's a great play by Carter Elder, the the LSM. He completely turned around, sprinted back instead of trying to play that ball in front because he saw Abe Laughlin sneak behind him. And this is sophomore Zeke Johnson. Let me tell you, he is a cannon for a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw him have a goal or two against Northland in the semifinal game. Excellent move. Rockhurst slides early. Ooh, shot just wide by number 2.
Great placement, just
Charles
a
Berger.
couple inches to the left, and that's a perfect shot. Offside hit.
Yeah, you know Charles is sitting there wishing he had that shot back.
It's great defense on that pick.
Excellent one-on-one defense by number 4, Bobby Freschel.
Great save by Kukulinski as well. And that's what you got to do against Cade. Keep your stick in his hand. He likes to throw a lot of fakes. The only way to kind of counteract that is always having the stick in his chest.
Excellent hit by number 3. Freeze. Oh, it hits a post. Beat the goalie, but not the post.
Here's Joseph Moore, first-team All-Metro player. Nice. Kuklinski again.
Another excellent save by number 34, Kuklinski. Turning out to have a great game this afternoon.
This is a scrap for this ball.
Uh-oh, Rockhurst needs to be ready to slide. Another.
Oh, my God.
Another dangerous opportunity here. As we were talking about, Jack, with that 10-man ride, Shawnee Mission East will look to bring their goalie, Philip Clementi, out of the cage. Oh, great pass. Another.
Clementi stands on his head.
Both goalies having a fantastic afternoon. You know, one thing I would like to see differently there from Crosby Gassaway.
Oh, great
He had
check.
all the time in the world. Should have thrown a fake and finished as he did earlier in the game.
He's not on the field yet.
Here we can see the boys are starting to get a little bit chippy.
That's what happens when you have this ground ball play like it is. We're going to need a slide for Shawnee Mission East here.
Excellent pass to the backside by number 9, Will Moore, and score by number 1, Cade Eldred.
How fun is this, huh, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. That was just a fantastic read by number 9, Will Moore, seeing his player get open on the back post. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Rockhurst was ready to slide on that 2 slide.
Oh, it looks like they had a 2 slide. I think it might have been the 3. They slid from crease, and then Bobby Freschel slid over to guard number 2, Charles Berger, on crease. That led Cade Elder to open.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like it may have been a slight error in communication there. A simple fix for Rockhurst, nothing to get frustrated or flustered with at this time.
It's hard when you have those long ground balls. It's just the defense is going to be out of whack automatically just because you don't usually have your normal personnel in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't speak highly enough about Rockhurst's defense there, who had a tremendous defensive stand and then unfortunately let that one slip in.
Mason Vass told me also before the game that if Kuklinski has one of those games, in quotations, then Rockhurst is going to have a huge chance to win. I think early on he's making some incredible saves on the doorstep, and that's what they're going to need to win because East is going to get their shots up. Nice defense by number 14, Griffin Landing.
And here we see Shawnee Mission East setting up in their invert set again. Look to maybe see a shot here from number 2, Charles Berger. Oh, skip pass to number 1. Great defense by 24. Tommy Eccles.
And oh, there he is.
Another
Nice
backside cut, and this time a goal by number 9, Will Moore.
So what
Excellent dodge by number 6, Zeke Johnson, to set up what was a great play by Shawnee Mission East. Once again, it looks like Rockhurst was caught again off ball.
What we're seeing is this invert set with Shawnee Mission East, and they're having all the close defenders pretty high up, including Tommy Eccles, who has to kind of lock off Griffin Freeze. That's making sure the 2-slide isn't there, and that's leaving people on crease wide open.
Yeah, great point there, Jack. And I think this will be one of the points of emphasis for Rockhurst during halftime. This is the second goal we've seen that Shawnee Mission East has scored on the crease because their Rockhurst's defensive midfielders getting caught more up towards the top of the box instead of helping in towards the crease.
So far, we've seen kind of a game of runs. Shawnee Mission East had 3 in a row, Rockhurst had 3 in a row, and now Shawnee Mission East has 2 more in a row.
Rockhurst looking to go on a run of their own now. And for our viewers who are not as familiar with the sport of lacrosse, the face-off is a integral part of the game and is a huge influence on the winner of the game as well. If you've ever played backcourt just simple basketball, it's make it, take it lacrosse. If you're able to score that goal, turn around and win that face-off, you score multiple goals in a row. And there we say, no. Crosby Gassaway with an excellent finish, stepping to the top side and stuffing it against Philip Clemente.
Have a day, young man. We're in the first half. He already has just as many goals as he had last game. And 1. That's what we call that. We got a flag as well.
Ooh, and it looks like the officials are calling an illegal body check instead of a push with possession. A push with possession would have been waved off as a result of the goal, but the illegal body check will mean that Shawnee Mission East will be man down on this face-off.
Crosby Gassaway is putting the team on his back right now.
Actually, it looks like there will be no face-off. Rockhurst will gain possession of the ball.
Wow.
This is a huge turn of events.
1 minute. Legal body check.
Maybe it might promote another run by Rockhurst.
Yeah, as you were saying, lacrosse is a game of runs, and here Rockhurst is looking to go on a run of their own.
Great save by Clemente.
Another excellent save by Clemente.
Max Williams picks up the garbage.
You know, to tell you, Jack, I was expecting an offensive showcase today, and both of these goalies have really risen to the occasion, are putting on a show.
That's an excellent ground ball by Henry Mahaffey.
Unfortunately, couldn't keep it in bounds, and Rockhurst will maintain possession.
Tough spot to be in as a defense, chasing out an offensive player. Nice skip pass by Gassaway.
Ooh! Prestige on that shot.
Michael Nolan absolutely stings top left corner. And that's a skip pass we were looking at earlier. If Rockhurst was going to be man up, that you have to find a skip pass against a defense that presses out.
You know, those is Mike. Number 16 there is a player that Tim was talking about before the game who could step up and make a big difference in today's game. And there we see him receiving that skip pass across the field from Crosby Gassaway and sticking it over the right shoulder of goalie Philip Clemente.
What a game.
Wow.
I have a quote from Southwest midfielder JP Tomasco who says, Crosby Gassaway is feasting today. Fun fact. Big hit by number 11, Bobby Kissick.
Great timeout call there by head coach Will Garrett for Shawnee Mission East.
Timeout, Shawnee Mission East.
Five.
Yeah, 5-5 here, Jack. You know, you hit it on the head. It seems that Shawnee Mission East likes to control the front half of each quarter, and Rockhurst has risen to the occasion and answered Shawnee Mission East in the back half of the first and second quarters here, Jack.
I think kind of what we were looking at earlier with all the emotion that's going on in this game is that every goal means so much. The sideline gets absolutely hyped up when we score, or when you don't score, the sideline starts to quiet down a little bit. And I think that just comes with how much emotion is in this game, is that you're just living and dying by every possession. Everything means so much in this game, especially with how close it is. I think it's going to keep going back and forth for the rest of this game.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. And emotion can be one of those two-edged swords that you want your players to play with heart and play with emotion. However, if they let those emotions get to them, you'll start seeing some of those sloppy penalties or sloppy passes, and ultimately can lead to more harm than good.
And I'm wondering who Coach Garrett is going to go to on this dodge. I think the invert is really going to be something that we're going to see until Rockhurst figures out how to stop it, because that's giving their attackmen. The attackmen are having the goals so far, but it's all built off dodges by Will Moore or Zeke Johnson, midfielders who are taking it to X and just beating their man one-on-one. Looks like the crowd's getting a little clap just for how great this game has been so far.
Will Moore starting with the ball here, making it seem easy here on this clear. Leads to an opportunity.
He's going to have Slayton Smith guarding him, who's a matchup they've been pressing early.
Excellent finish by number 9, Will Moore.
Something that's difficult is if you try and play defense that far in, you leave it the chance if you get beat by a step, which is just an excellent dodge by Will Moore. There's no room for people to slide. They had people slide that time, but it was just too late because of how deep they started playing defense in.
Yeah, I think Rockhurst unfortunately didn't realize how close Will Moore was to the goal there and left Slayton on that island and hoping that he could defend that matchup one-on-one. Will has done a great job of dodging all afternoon, so we'll hopefully see Rockhurst begin to honor that dodge here moving forward. Another thing that I'd like to see from Slayton in that dodge is number 9, Will Moore, is predominantly right-handed. He will go to his left hand, but if he goes to his left hand in that situation, he'd be running out of an angle. Instead, next time, I think we'll see Slayton line up more to the top side and try to force Will to his left hand.
Nice ground ball by Will Mielbach. Something that's going to be on these face-offs that's important is just, although we've had some wins on both sides, each time it's been a battle for the ground ball. So I think we're going to see the better conditioned face-off unit start to assert their dominance more in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Jack. And as I like to tell my players, the ball is not cleared until it goes to your attack at X.
Phil Clementine's making great saves, but the passes he's making on a rope have been incredible so far.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack.
Nice dodge by Jack Burkhead.
His passes are on a rope and going exactly where they need to go. He has been slinging the ball all afternoon and throwing absolute dimes.
There we see something that I'd like to see more from Rockhurst, which is just a little bit more help off ball. You don't even need to slide. You just need to get in the lanes where people are going to be sliding from.
Oh, great defense there by number 14 from Rockhurst.
Griffin Lanning with great D.
Another excellent stand in cage by number 34, Michael Kuklinski. And here we see Shawnee Mission East setting up in their 10-man ride.
It's a great ride by number 1, Kate Eldred, on senior Jeff Keller, number 21.
Yeah. Looks like Shawnee Mission East might be getting a bench warning here.
Yeah, it looks like it. They all kind of tucked their tails between their legs and backed up a couple steps.
As we were talking about earlier, emotions are running high.
Here's the first we've seen of Simon Williams for Rockhurst, who's an excellent defensive player. That's something else, Oh, nice finish.
Ooh,
Will Moore
another
again.
score by number 9, Will Moore. And Will Garrett really hit the nail on the head here before the game, talking about how his first-line midfielders needed to step up and will be a major impact in this game.
And here we see no helmet stickage. Maybe that has something to do with the chrome wrap on the helmet.
Yeah, those helmets look a little slippery there, Jack.
Just excellent hugging form. by Will Moore.
Yeah, I think he could have added a little bit more emotion there. I'll give that one a 6.7 out of 10.
I like it. That's a good call. And see, we have number 5 facing off for the first time, Nick Gleason. Rockhurst likes to say, release the Glease when he is facing off. Excellent clamp. And here's senior midfielder Luke Looney, who's returning from a couple concussions this year, but got cleared to play for today, playing his final high school game for Rockhurst. He's a football player as well.
Excellent pass down low, but it looks like Rockhurst will look to settle things down and try to take the last shot in possession of the half.
And we got about 40 seconds left on the clock. So it looks like Michael Knowlton is going to be the one to initiate, maybe Max Williams. Good dodge. Nice stand
15
on
seconds
defense.
remaining. Shawnee Mission East gains possession. Will look to attack quickly here.
Oh, what a pass.
Let's see if Tommy will be able to get a shot off here. And it looks like that is how the first half will end. Fantastic lacrosse from both teams on the field so far this afternoon. Your score, Shawnee Mission East 7, Rockhurst 5.
We're going to cut to a quick commercial, and we'll be back out at the podium to kind of debrief the first half and give a little preview for the second.
This presentation of the Lacrosse Association of Kansas City is brought to you by Top Gun Midwest, Fountain City Lacrosse, Blue Lion Lacrosse, Kansas City's original homegrown lacrosse program, best area high school coaches for boys and girls, KC Heartland Lacrosse Club, and True Lacrosse, your year-round provider for boys and girls travel teams, camps, clinics, leagues, and private lessons. Experience the true difference. This webcast is copyrighted by the Lacrosse Association of Kansas City and may not be retransmitted in any form without written consent. And now we send you out to the broadcast desk with Jack and Scott.
Hello and welcome back to the halftime report of today's LAKC championship game between Rockhurst Hawklets and the Shawnee Mission East Lancers. I tell you what, Jack, that was a first half filled of fireworks and a ton of emotion from the players. What do you have from the first half?
I just feel honored to be watching. I mean, both these teams are giving it everything they have. Every ground ball is a fight. Every game, or every score, everyone's going nuts for. We have an incredible student section from both teams, a huge crowd. It's just a really fun atmosphere to be at.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. You know, I can't say enough about the crowd out here. Back when I was first playing lacrosse at the beginning of my high school career, we were lucky to have, maybe 100, 200, mainly parents and, some friends, mainly family, coming out to these championship games. And now, if you were here with us, you would see that the entire stadium here at UMKC is full and is almost standing room only. It has been a fantastic afternoon for lacrosse here in the Kansas City Metro.
I think this kind of just comes down to the rivalry between not just these two lacrosse teams, but these two schools.
Absolutely, Jack. I think that's a really great way to put it. And you can see that all these players are putting a large amount of emotion into everything that they're doing out in the field this afternoon.
So, looking forward to the second half. What do you think the adjustments that Shawnee Mission East is going to be making to try and keep this game in their favor, keep the 2-goal lead, probably try and build on that more?
Yeah, from Shawnee Mission East perspective, I think you're pretty happy with what's going on. You've defended well and settled offensive sets, as well as attacked the goal and settled sets very efficiently. Will Moore has really stepped up this afternoon, and I believe he has a hat trick in the first half. So he's done a tremendous amount of work here for Shawnee Mission East. On Rockhurst's side of the ball, I think one of the major adjustments that they're going to have to look to make on the defensive side of the ball is getting their slides to really, help in a little bit more. And what I mean by that is some of their midfielders are getting caught up the field and too focused in on the one guy that they're defending and not focusing on the team defense. Once again, this could be a simple lapse in communication going on the Rockhurst side. And Tim Reedy's an excellent coach, and I'm sure that they're going to come out of this locker room for the second half and really clean up some of those errors.
I think it's just difficult with a team that's so loaded as Shawnee Mission East. Is you never want to leave your guy open for the shot. You never want to be the one who left their guy open to score, especially in a game that means this much. But I think this team needs to just kind of think about it. Look, we need to suck in, we need to help our guys out and kind of play for each other, play with each other. Another thing I'm going to look for on the defensive side for Rockhurst is just clearing the ball.
Right.
I think Michael Kuklinski has kept them in this game by making huge saves, but I understand how much pressure the 10-man ride puts on Rockhurst as a team.
Right.
But they're going to need to find a way to either bring their middies down, send their attackmen over the line, keeping a midi over, just to kind of confuse this Shawnee Mission East team a little bit so they can get a couple more possession, and especially the way they're playing in transition. They're playing excellent ball in transition, moving the ball well, getting good shots. That's how Blake Hager had a couple goals. Max Terrell scored as well.
Right.
I think that's how we can look to see Rockhurst kind of be able to go on more runs like we talked about a lot throughout the day. I think that would be something huge just on the clear game.
Absolutely, and we were speaking a lot about Will Moore, but on the other side of the ball, Crosby Gassaway, small in stature, but has shown up huge in big game moments this afternoon, scoring a number of goals and scoring through some really heavy contact from the Shawnee Mission East defenders. I think that if Rockhurst wants to continue their success on the offensive side of the ball, Crosby is going to continue having to produce here in the second half.
I think it has gone against any matchup Shawnee Mission East has put on them. They put two pulls, they put a short stick on them at one point. I'm sure not on purpose, but Henry Mahaffey guarded him, Joseph Moore guarded him, and Crosby Gassaway just took them both to the rack. He is actually a known member of Scotty and the Dogs. So.
That is true. That is true, Jack. Way to bring that up. So, alrighty, well that concludes our halftime entertainment here for you. We will be rejoining here for the second half, in about 2 minutes. Stick around.
Welcome back, and we are about to begin this second half of play. And we're going to start with the same face-off pair, William Mielbach versus Rockhurst, and William Wynn for Shawnee Mission East. Crowd getting amped up early for this face-off. Just enjoying a wonderful game of lacrosse so far. Something you may see as this game progresses on the face-off X is going to be Tommy Eccles Jr. at Rockhurst moving up and kind of helping get a couple more ground balls on the face-off. He did that last game against Pembroke, and I would see him kind of do that again. Scotty, welcome back to the booth. Did you manage to get any quotes from the coaches?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, Jack, I just learned how out of shape I really am by running to the other side of the field and back. And tell you what, it is very hot out there on the turf. So really quickly, I did manage to speak briefly with both Tim and Will Garrett about each of their respective teams. Rockhurst's main point is they just want to continue the things they're already doing.
Oh, drop pass.
Excellent look here for Rockhurst. And then on the other side of the ball, I asked Will what he thought about the the first half and what they need to do. He had 2 words for me: settle down.
And here we see a short stick matchup on attackman Blake Hager. I would look for him to press this matchup pretty heavily early on. And let me tell you, you might not be able to see it, but Scott David is sucking wind in the announcer's booth right now.
Hopefully someone up here has an inhaler just in case.
I just can confirm we do have an inhaler up here. Double team.
Ooh. Looks like the backside of the goal was helping out the Shawnee Mission East defense there. Rockhurst maintains possession.
William Mielbach looking to take a dodge against Tyler Stottle. Actually, he's going to initiate a little bit of 2-man to start this dodge off. Excellent switch off the picks.
Looks like Rockhurst is a little bit apprehensive to go to their left hands there, and Shawnee Mission East is taking advantage of that.
Rockhurst has done really well on this possession of just winning a couple ground balls that have allowed them to keep the possession.
You know, before the game we spoke about how Rockhurst wanted to focus on maintaining the ball for long periods of time, and here we are, 2 minutes gone in the second half, and Rockhurst has had the ball the entire time. Ooh, errant pass through the skip lane, and Shawnee Mission East picks it off.
There's got to be something, huh?
No, you know, once again, that comes back to letting the players play. That might have been a little high, but
it's also when you're not really going for a hit. He kind of just turned around and then Crosby was standing there.
Right. And here we see Shawnee Mission East with a quick opportunity. Ooh, Will Moore could not handle the pass. Once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us here at the 2019 LAKC Championship game between the Shawnee Mission East Lancers and Rockhurst Hawklets. Second half here, and the first half was an explosive half, and we're excited to see what these teams have to bring here in the second.
Loose ball push on Rockhurst, Shawnee Mission East ball.
Shawnee Mission is going to keep possession off that loose ball push right there.
Zeke Johnson here with the dodge.
Nice defense by William Mielbach.
Hold the phone. He's got a cannon. No.
We talked about it earlier. Zeke Johnson has a rip. Unleashes the beast there, top right.
Yeah, you can see he splits to his left hand, rolls back to his right, gets that hands free, and rips it past Rockhurst goalie Michael Kuklinski.
Shawnee Mission East has their goal lead back up to a 3-goal game, which they haven't had since it was 3-0 in the first half.
Right on there, Jack, but Rockhurst has been doing very well here at the face-off. I'm sure they're looking to maintain this possession or gain this possession and have another fruitful offensive possession here.
Something you'll see as the game goes on is William Milbach's playing offense, defense, and facing off for the Rockhurst Hawklets. Doesn't matter there, though.
Face-off win, Rockhurst.
Ooh, another excellent save by Shawnee Mission East goalie Philip Clemente. And here we see the boys selling out for this ground ball.
Nice ground ball by Luke Looney. Shawnee Mission East is subbing. There's an open player in the middle of the field. Rockhurst isn't going to catch.
There they find him. Ooh, shot just wide by William Milbach, backed up by Philip Clemente.
Clemente with a great chase there. No one at X. And that's going to be a turnover. Oh, got to keep 2 hands on the ground ball.
Looks to be a successful clear here by Shawnee Mission East.
Wilmore one-on-one with the goalie again.
Another finish.
Goal, Shawnee Mission East, number 9, Wilmore.
Wilmore with an excellent finish. Way to take the contact and go through. He's having a day just like Crosby Gasway is on the other side.
Oh, and there we see the rifle celebration from Wilmore. Taking that contact, working back to the top side, burying the biscuit with his left hand. Excellent job to stick with that dodge by number 9, Wilmore.
Mystic Mac over there with Will Garrett early on, talking about how Wilmore was going to be a difference maker in this game.
Back to the face-off X here between...
It looks like Cade Eldred, the attackman, is actually going to be facing off for Shawnee Mission East.
Even though Cade plays attack, he is also a very accomplished and successful midfielder and face-off man. And there we can see him with the ground ball through traffic.
They can double this real quick if they want. And there they do. Nice ground ball by Slayton.
Ooh,
that's going to be a flag.
Is a flag down. It looks like players are starting to get a little chippy here again in the second half.
Excellent play by the coach, pulling this guy off. Just excellent work. You love to see that out of your coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be willing to reckon that coach has about a 4.6 to maybe a 4.7 40. He really got up and really got out to his player there to make sure he wasn't getting any more fighting.
That's a great estimation right there. And I'm not sure why they're sitting over here right now. I think the refs are discussing. They're probably going to call the coaches in the middle and tell everyone to chill out.
Yeah, I think, as an official myself, one of the things I would look to do here is maybe get the 2 speaking captains together and tell them to knock it off. We understand that these players are playing with strong emotion and desire and wanting to put their bodies on the line. However, at some point, you have to play with control and play with poise. And there we saw, Shawnee Mission East a little frustrated with that turnover, and it ended with a late check, a Rockhurst possession, and now Shawnee Mission East will go man down.
Here we have veteran Chris Harris making a call.
Timeout, Rockhurst.
Oh, timeout, Rockhurst.
On the penalty here, we have... Looks like it's going to be an unnecessary roughness, contact to the head, full-time serve, 1-minute penalty.
Locked in as well.
Correction, 2-minute non-releasable penalty by number 20, James Stowers.
Huge call right there. That means even if Rockhurst scores, Shawnee Mission East will still be man down. So this can really give them the opportunity to crawl right back into this game, even though they're down by 4 goals right here.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. We talk about how Rockhurst has done a fantastic job of facing off here. And if they're able to put in a few quick goals and keep winning these face-offs, we're going to be right back to a tied game before we know it.
I think Rockhurst just needs to keep the mindset they had in the first half when they were down 3-0. You don't need big plays. You just need to go 3 in a row.
If Rockhurst can move the ball fast here, they have some players wide open on the back post.
Drop pass by Crosby Gasway.
Unfortunate turn of events there.
Nice check.
Excellent ride by Crosby, fighting to get that ground ball back. Excellent play there by Shawnee Mission East goalie, Philip Clemente.
Oops. Shawnee Mission East players take each other out instead of the other team. Here comes Tommy Eccles.
Great play there by Tommy, but unfortunately the pass was tipped by Shawnee Mission East, who is now looking to go in transition quickly. And there we can see another push in the back without possession. Shawnee Mission East keep the ball.
Loose ball push, Shawnee Mission East ball.
Rockhurst really needs to try and double pretty hard here, especially with the non-releasable penalty. Every second counts kind of on this possession.
Excellent play there by number 3, Griffin Freeze. Shawnee Mission East with the opportunity to score man down here.
You need to keep pressing this ball.
Ooh, just wide by number 6, Charlie Berger.
You got to be setting up a double here if you're Shawnee, or if you're Rockhurst. And here it looks like they're going to.
I apologize. That was number 6, Zeke Johnson on that shot, I believe.
Apology accepted. Excellent man down offense by Shawnee Mission East. And Wilmar almost just had another one, but it was a nice check by Jack Scanlon.
And there we see another situation where, ooh, it looks like the ball will go to Rockhurst.
And Tim Reedy showed a little emotion on the sideline. He loves that one.
Yeah, that is a great, Rockhurst in trouble here, needing to clear. But Shawnee Mission East doing an excellent job of riding a lot of time off of that penalty there. And Jack, it looks like we're back to full strength now. 6-on-6.
Excellent play by Shawnee Mission East. That could have been a huge game changer for them, but the offense kind of pulling through after the defense got a nice ground ball and a good clear, but the offense just holding the ball even through some tough double teams, excuse me.
Yeah, you know, Jack, I feel like many teams when watching either Shawnee Mission East or Rockhurst this year have been impressed by their offensive play, but tell you what, right now, both teams' defenses are playing exceptionally well.
And it all starts with the goalies. We've talked about it all day. These goalies are both having a game, both on just saves, but especially with Clemente's outlet passes there, have just been able to keep them having some great just possession. Nice finish by William Mielbach off another assist by Crosby Gasway. Yeah, everything's coming through Crosby Gasway initiating that dodge from X.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're going to see here, Crosby engaging his defenders, sees the midfielder stepping down too far. William Mielbach with an excellent location on that shot. You know, worm burner, opposite side.
Blake Hager keeps the head away from William Mielbach in the hug there. Learned from his mistake last time. And William Mielbach's right back up to the face-off again. I love just how Rockhurst seniors are stepping up in their final game.
Yeah, absolutely. These players are making big plays and not making sure they're not going out with a solid fight. You know, there in the beginning of the second half, it was looking a little iffy. Shawnee Mission East scoring back-to-back goals in quick succession. But here we see Rockhurst fighting back through some adversity and scoring what is a much-needed goal.
Rockhurst ball.
Another face-off won by number 3 senior William Mielbach.
Coach Reedy told me a couple nights ago that William Mielbach isn't going to get all the stats, although he had a goal there, but he's going to get every ground ball, win face-offs, play good defense, run up and down the field the entire night.
Crosby now with the short-on-short matchup and extra space. We'll see how Rockhurst looks to initiate here.
This is the matchup Rockhurst wants.
Excellent
nice
hitch move. Unfortunately hung the stick a little bit, allowing for Shawnee Mission East to get that check on. Excellent toe drag by Shawnee Mission East defender, number 34.
Toe drag swag by J-Mo, Joseph Moore.
Joseph Moore.
And I think to try and get Griffin away from Tommy Eccles and then get him a couple more touches, he's actually moved to play a little bit of midfield, offensive midfield, which he started his career as Shawnee Mission as.
Ooh, another shot off the post by number 20, James Stowers. Excellent fight here for the ground ball. That is in the back.
No call.
Taking the contact. Another chance for James Stowers. Wisely pulls it out. And a timeout taken by Shawnee Mission East head coach Will Garrett. So you know, Jack, I feel like Griffin Freeze is a name that we haven't said much of this afternoon. We were talking a little bit about how that matchup might affect this game between Rockhurst's Tommy Eccles and Griffin Freeze. What do you think, Griffin should look to do in this matchup to help, free himself up?
Something I'm seeing that he's doing, he had the early goal off the kind of broken play, but something I'm seeing he's doing that's good is kind of just adjusting where he's standing on the field and never letting Rockhurst settle down into a defense that works where he is. He's sometimes on crease, he's sometimes up top, he's sometimes inverted. It just depends on the different possessions, which is hard as a defense because if you're trying to lock someone off and they're constantly moving around, you have to constantly switch slide packages based around where he's standing. If he's on the crease, you have to do an adjacent slides package, which means you slide from the guy to the left or the right. When he's on off crease, you have to do a crease slide, but you have to kind of modify the second slide, who's going to come help once you go on the hot slide. So I think this shift for him to go to midfield is just another wrinkle because now Tommy Eccles is going to either have to switch to LSM or he's going to have to start a defense, coordinate a deep hole coming down and guarding the attackman he's on before he can go up to midfield and start playing them. And if he doesn't get that to happen, then Griffin's going to have a weaker deep hole on him.
Yeah, Jack, I think you brought up some really good points there. The only thing that I'm starting to wonder is if Rockhurst will maybe begin to switch Tommy Eccles probably or potentially onto Will Moore, who has had quite the afternoon. It seems like Griffin Freeze, fantastic player, has done an excellent job all season. Might not be Shawnee Mission East's biggest threat right now, or Rockhurst's, biggest threat on the other side. So we'll see how the teams come out of the halftime.
Ankle breaker by Zeke Johnson.
Timeout break here, yeah.
I think it's kind of difficult, too, because you're stuck in this place where you're like, well, if we get off of him, he's going to go off.
Right.
But it's just difficult because the number one threat right now, you're 100% right, is Will Moore.
Yeah. Oh, and there we see an excellent backup by Rockhurst goalie Michael Kuklinski.
Tommy Eccles is open on the left, but actually Joseph Moore, who's been a matchup on the clear with him all night.
Rockhurst doesn't realize it here, but number 14 in the middle of the field is very open with no one guarding him.
Nice ground ball by Bobby Freschel. Need to move the ball quick because they're not going to have
and there they
pass.
Find him. And here we can see Shawnee Mission East jumping into their 10-man ride and Rockhurst being able to break it.
Crosby Gasway does well to hold the ball, but a great collapse by the Shawnee Mission East defense and not letting him get an easy shot, even though he had a step on his man.
2 minutes left here in the third quarter, and it looks like Rockhurst has once again slowed things down to their advantage.
Brendan Brewster taking a dodge for Rockhurst. Here's Griffin Lannon, who's been playing great defense and offense all day for Rockhurst. I like seeing this out of Rockhurst, kind of getting the ball around a couple times.
An errant pass goes by way, and Shawnee Mission East gains possession.
Here's Tyler Stottle running up the field. Could have been a moving screen, but there's going to be no call on that one.
I'm sure Shawnee Mission East will look to run the last minute off the clock here and try to get a last second shot.
Look at Wilmore on the island by himself again. Nice roll. It's a good slide, but Griffin Lane hasn't recovered yet. Kate Elder has no one on him. Nice shot.
I suppose it doesn't look like Shawnee Mission East is trying to hold for the last shot. They are attacking vigilantly right now.
.20 seconds left. Zeke Johnson's going to initiate for Max and try and set up.
Here we can see it looks like Rockhurst is helping down a little bit better now. Will Moore open to the backside. Excellent save. Rockhurst goalie Michael Kuklinski.
7 seconds.
Looks like Shawnee Mission East might have an injured player on the opposite side of the field. And that's a wrap for the third quarter here.
Into the third quarter, Shawnee Mission East 9,
We'll be right back
Rockhurst 6.
to start this fourth quarter and see who's going to win us this championship game. So during that break, we were just kind of talking about how Rockhurst has really adjusted well to kind of sloughing it off ball. They allowed 2 goals that quarter, but in the 6v6 settled defensive situations, they've been much more able to help off ball and kind of have better slides. Last possession, what I was mentioning to you during our break was I saw Simon Williams screaming and motioning with his hand to have, where's my 2 slide? I need my 2 slide here. And I think having that kind of communication on Simon Williams, he's had the chance to play with head coach of Rockhurst University, Kevin Kelly, is kind of put it in his mind that you need to have a 2 slide when you go. And I think him being able to talk like that has been a huge difference maker in the second half.
Yeah, no, Jack, I think you're absolutely right there. We saw there at the end, like you were saying, the communication was certainly better by part of Rockhurst. It looks like they had a slight sliding mix-up when it came to sliding to the Dodger from X. However, once again, I think the big thing to take away here now is how is Rockhurst going to handle this 3-goal deficit? Are they going to come out and be a little over-anxious or a little over-ambitious, which is going to lead to more Shawnee Mission East opportunities because of carelessness? Or will they remain composed and look to bring this game back 1 goal at a time?
There's a great shot of how big this crowd really is. And I think that we might see one shift we might say is Tommy Eccles shifting up to help a little bit on the face-off. He's just such a dominant force on ground balls. He's just an excellent player. And I might see him, as the second half or the fourth quarter progresses, he might kind of push up and get him another threat on offense.
We have a fast break opportunity for Mielbach. Excellent save. Again, Philip Clemente.
Good save by Philip Clemente.
That's an incredible save.
There again, Shawnee Mission East working to get the ball up very quickly.
Nice ground ball by Bobby Kissick in traffic. Passing to his longtime teammate, Jack Burkhead. You know those guys, huh, Scotty?
Yeah, man, I coached them many eons ago, as it seems.
U13 All-Stars.
Absolutely. You know, it's so great, you know, in this position now as a coach, graduated from high school and working to see all of you guys who have, you know, really succeeded so greatly here at the varsity level here in Kansas City. Many of these players on the field today I've had the opportunity to interact with one way or another, and it's tremendous to see the way that lacrosse has grown in the Kansas City metro area from where it was when I was a freshman. Excellent fake shot. Excellent save.
Good save by Michael Kalinsky.
And here we see Tommy, the man-child, running through the entirety of the Shawnee Mission East ride. Rockhurst has numbers, but they don't push it.
Good play not to push. It's hard to force that pass, especially when you're trying to build up a lead, or when you're trying to make up a lead. I know it's tempting to throw that kind of pass and try and get that early score, but Rockhurst has found success in their 6v6 offense, so nice pass. Here's Max Williams.
over and back call, it'll be Shawnee Mission East ball.
Here we see Griffin with the ball. Shawnee Mission East parents want a flag on that one.
You know, I think that's another perfect no call there. It didn't really disadvantage the player in any way. It was a slight contact to the helmet, but nothing dangerous.
I could not agree more as a defensive player. Just want to give him a nice little whack sometimes.
Greedy
Excellent
pass there
pass
from Shawnee Mission East leads to a turnover.
Tommy Eccles is going to try and clear this ball again. Nice pass to William Mielbach. Michael Nolan initiating. Great defense by Tommy Pollock. Something else about the East polls is they like to throw.
And there we see another penalty by Shawnee Mission East. A slight push in the back that'll lead to a man-up opportunity for Rockhurst.
It's going to be a free possession for Rockhurst. They can keep possession. They can go kind of 2 for 1 here. What I like about Shawnee Mission East is they really, although when people are on their heels, they throw bigger checks. Good save. They like to, when people are running with them, they either throw lifts or poke checks and kind of try and dislodge the ball without losing their position, which allows them to play so far out.
Yeah, great point there, Jack. And one of the things that I was talking briefly with Will Garrett about before the game is he was talking about how they didn't want to overextend too much on defense. And he said one of the key ways to tell if they're overextending on defense too much is whether or not they're going for over-the-head checks with their poles. And there we saw a few of those. So I'm sure Will Garrett will talk to his guys, remind them to settle down, as he said, in the halftime break, and look to regain their composure here at the end of the fourth quarter.
You really want to see some skip passes here. Oh, this is good ball movement.
Excellent
Good
skip
save.
pass down to Crosby Gassaway, and another save by Philip Clementi.
Max Terrell's going to initiate from bottom left.
Here we can hear the Shawnee Mission East fans getting involved. Another save. It's trash on the crease. Possession gained by Shawnee Mission East. Oh no. One-on-one opportunity. Finish. Rockhurst goal number.
I think that's going to be 16,
Yep.
Michael Knowlton.
Number 16, Michael Knowlton.
That takes a lick
Flag
when he gets
down.
on crease.
And it looks like Shawnee Mission East will once again go man down here.
This might be a pretty big penalty as well. I think he got hit pretty hard in the head. Yeah, and it's from behind. Ugh. Hate to see that. Good thing he's walking off. Good thing he's okay. Excellent finish on crease.
It looks like the officials are going to get together and talk here. There we saw on the replay another excellent play by Michael Knowlton, stealing the pass away from Philip Clementi, running it in himself, and burying that biscuit between the wickets.
Have you prepared these phrases? They're incredible.
Every morning, it's what gets me up in the morning.
Some people have word of the day, and you have lacrosse announcing phrase of the day.
You know, something like that. I often just wake up at about 4 o'clock in the morning before going to lift and just start screaming at myself.
I've been there, man. I've been there. So we're going to get the call right now.
No correction here. It looks like 34 is going to be called with a cross-check. 1 minute time-serving penalty. Rockhurst will once again be man up on this face-off.
You like him playing physical on crease, but unlike a regular season game where players might be a little bit more hesitant to come to the middle after a hit like that.
Yeah,
in this
Jack,
kind of game.
You know, it's one thing when you get a penalty that directly prevents a goal from occurring. It's another where you get the penalty after the goal has already been scored. It can almost be a 2-goal swing in many situations.
And Rockhurst is back within 2 after being down 9-5.
Another face-off win by William Mielbach. And here we go, fast break opportunity if Rockhurst wants to push the numbers. Ooh!
just right at the goal. Good shot. But now Rockhurst will have the chance to sub their men on.
Yeah, excellent shot there by number 2, Max Terrell. And here we get to see Rockhurst man-up unit once again.
The skip pass is there. It's just they have to find it. I'd like to see them push the skip pass from X instead of trying to initiate from up top. From down low, it's just a lot more cluttered on the middle. So if they push from X, I think they'll have a little bit better opportunities to kind of get a couple more output shots. Number 16 to open, Michael Knowlton right now.
There's that skip pass.
Great save.
Big save by Philip Clemente.
Ground ball battle now in the wing. Officials letting them play. That looked like it may have been from behind. But Rockhurst will keep possession.
I think Tommy Foster thought that was a shot, but it was actually a pass because they had possession.
Actually, yeah, it was coming off of the stick of Philip Clemente there from the shot. However, once the ground ball becomes a playable, or after that shot becomes a playable ground ball in the field of play, it's no longer treated as a shot.
It's going to be
treated
even now.
as whoever touches it last doesn't get the ball.
It's going to be even now. So another good penalty kill by Shawnee Mission East. A couple good shots by Rockhurst, but Clemente standing on his head once again.
Seeing some more hard checks from Shawnee Mission East here. Rockhurst in the crease. It'll be Shawnee Mission East ball.
Fast break.
Opportunity there for Shawnee Mission East, who elects to pull the ball away. And Rockhurst has been on the offense a lot this quarter, so it'll be good for Shawnee Mission East to have a long, drawn-out offensive possession to help give their defenders a break.
Looks like Wilmore has a short stick on him. He's probably going to press this matchup. Looks like they're going to go right back to the invert.
Expect him to go to his right hand here.
There's the roll.
There's the roll. Excellent sellout check by number 20 from Rockhurst. An
Beautiful
excellent ground ball from Tommy
Eccles.
Eccles, who looks to do it all himself.
Yep, that's a flag.
Flag down. Rockhurst maintaining the possession here. Ooh.
Nice pass. And that was one of the most incredible ground balls I've ever seen by Tommy Eccles there.
There we can see once again the players getting after it a little bit. However, Rockhurst will keep this possession and go up man up once again.
It's awesome seeing number 20, Luke Looney for Rockhurst, just absolutely selling now for his team on that takeaway check. And he's just returning from injury, actually. He had a couple concussions. I mentioned this earlier. But it's just awesome seeing him sell out in this final game as a Rockhurst Hawklet.
It looks like Shawnee Mission East is only being charged here with the push for possession, not a tripping foul. That'll be a 30-second man-up opportunity for Rockhurst.
Uh, 30-second fouls don't count towards the 5-minute time. Nice
Excellent
check by
job
Dan
getting
Scott.
a stick in the lane by the Shawnee Mission East defender there.
It's a good team
And here
down
we are,
ground
even
ball.
strength.
Nice play by Dan Scott.
Ooh. Excellent cut by number 10, Max Williams.
Coming down to about 4 minutes left in this game. Rockhurst still down by 2 goals. This is a good matchup here for Mielbach if people can get out of the way.
Yeah, Rockhurst is going to need to make something happen here on this possession. Ooh, a close call there, but Shawnee Mission East ends up with the ball.
Nice pass in traffic by Philip Clemente.
As a reminder to our fans watching this afternoon, under 2 minutes, Shawnee Mission East will have to keep the ball inside of the restraining line, or inside of the box as we call it. If they step out, it will result in a turnover and Rockhurst ball. Excellent goal there by number 6, Zeke Johnson, taking the goal deficit to 3.
That was a nice dodge.
Here we can see on the replay, excellent footwork and one-on-one work by Zeke, getting his hand free, jump shot top shelf.
Only a sophomore, but has made a huge impact on this game just by how quick his dodges are, especially with Rockhurst's. I think their game plan was we're going to try and have our middies beat their middies one-on-one on defense, and having Zeke Johnson, Will Moore step up and take the load and start scoring even without the attack, man, has been really important for Shawnee Mission East's success, and that's probably the reason they have a 3-goal lead right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and if you remember back to the first time these teams met, Charlie Berger had a huge influence in that game from the attack, and I wonder if Rockhurst was maybe expecting more of the same today.
Face-off win, Shawnee Mission East.
Big face-off win by Shawnee Mission East there. And a timeout called by Shawnee Mission East. Shawnee Mission East may be starting to feel this lead. However, this game is definitely not over. We have seen 3-goal swings multiple times in this game, and I think that Rockhurst has an opportunity to put themselves back in a winning position if they come out of this timeout with a good strategy.
If I'm Rockhurst right here, I'm putting Tommy Eccles on whoever has the ball, and I'm locking off all of Jason's and saying go to work, get that turnover. Two minutes left in the game. We're getting the confirmation on how many timeouts each team has left.
Looks like Rockhurst is the only team left with a timeout at this time. So if Shawnee Mission East gets into trouble here under 2 minutes, they will not be able to call a timeout to retain the possession.
1 timeout left for Rockhurst.
Down 3 with 2 minutes left. I keep asking you this, but what do you think Coach Haridi, as a coach yourself, what do you think Coach Haridi is telling his team right now?
You know, I'm thinking saying, you know, the score isn't what we want it to be right now, but you can't give up heart. You have to keep fighting hard, and more importantly, they want to pressure out, but you cannot get a penalty in this situation. A penalty in this situation for Rockhurst would be absolutely disastrous. As a coach myself, I might look to double the ball. Perhaps leave the person far and away open potentially bring my goalie out of the goal anytime the ball goes behind X. So,
and this is the matchup we talked about all day, Griffin Freeze versus Tommy Eccles. And they are going to lock off adjacents. Nope.
Wilmore able to get open.
You got to be pressuring this ball
Under
hard.
2 minutes, keep it in.
Nice defense.
Wow, excellent finish by Wilmore.
Goal, Shawnee Mission East, number
Low
9,
angle
Wilmore.
finish past the goalie.
It looks like that's going to be a flag on Luke Looney after I think he might have chirped a little bit on his face.
You know, like I said earlier, a penalty in that situation is disastrous, and so is a goal. But now that there is an after-ball foul, Rockhurst looks to be man down, and Shawnee Mission East will have the possession.
Just disastrous. The 4-goal lead is, I think, is a little deceptive of how close this game really has been. What?
No, it looks like the heat might be getting to some of the players out there. Griffin Freeze working really hard there to maintain that possession and is currently over on the sideline yelling at the trash can a little bit.
Shawnee Mission East will start with the ball due to a conduct penalty. It's waived
I
by
think-
the goal.
Thinking back about this game, I think we really saw that the two best teams made it to this championship game. They've fought, and this is the closest East has been played all year, even though they've had an extremely dominant season. Rockhurst really put up a fight and had a lot of chances to win this game. Although it's not completely over yet, this man down is going to be really difficult to come back from for Rockhurst.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can see the Shawnee Mission East players working hard to maintain that possession. You know, if I'm Will Garrett here, I'd be telling the horses to calm down a little bit here. Keep that ball at X. You definitely don't want to turn the ball over in the middle of the field.
Zeke Johnson stings another one.
Goal, Shawnee Mission East.
You know, there are some extra stees for that top self cheese there, Jack.
That was
Working to move the ball around the outside. Ball gets its way to Zeke. Hands are free. You know, if we were on a football field, that's one thing I tell my players to look for. We want to get, 12 yards between the hash marks. His hands are free. Absolute cannon to the top shelf there. Michael Kuklinski, unfortunately, didn't stand a chance.
even with this excellent senior class that Shawnee Mission East has this year, the people who have stepped up this game, Will Moore, junior, Zeke Johnson, sophomore, Cade Eldred, sophomore as well. I mean, this team is going to be here for years to come. And what Shawnee Mission East talks about is how they want to start a dynasty. And I think just the roots they have and how well they develop their players is really going to keep their success for a long time. But Rockhurst is the same way.
Yeah, Rockhurst and Shawnee Mission East are both teams that have very strong youth feeder programs that enable them to have, lacrosse players year after year that aren't just new players, a luxury that many other teams in the league, unfortunately, do not have. Rockhurst electing to use their final timeout here at this time.
That's the final timeout for both teams.
This last minute, I'm hoping that Rockhurst maybe can put one more in the goal. They've just had an excellent game, and I think all of us can agree, both at home and people watching this broadcast, that this is an incredible game to witness. Both teams completely sold out, especially on a hot day. It's just a wonderful, wonderful game, and you see some of the seniors on both teams kind of start to embrace as they think about, regardless of what happens, how this game went. This is kind of the culmination of their high school careers as lacrosse players, and for some of them, their high school or their careers as lacrosse players in general. Yeah,
Jack, I can certainly feel for Rockhurst here at this time. The conclusion of my high school playing experience was very similar in this manner, that it was a close game for the majority of the game, with Shawnee Mission East opening the gates a little bit against us in the last few minutes of the game. You certainly feel for these players that have played with their heart all game long. But it looks to be that Shawnee Mission East will come up on top of this one. And you made an excellent point here. All the seniors that are on the field that have done a tremendous job of not only playing so well for their program for potentially 4 years here in the case of Griffin Freeze and Tommy Eccles. I apologize, 3 years for Tommy Eccles here. But who get to, celebrate what has been, growing their teams to where they've never been before. Every year in, year out, lacrosse in Kansas City is getting better and better. And it's because of these seniors. That is just another, link in the chain.
And I believe both teams have put in a lot of senior players. And I think just by the same token as what we talked about with East having a bright future, I mean, Rockhurst has Mason Vassa and Tommy Eccles, both D1 talents coming back next year. And that's going to be a threat to any team in the league.
You're absolutely right there, Jack. Tough way to end the season, however. Certainly a bright future to look forward to for Rockhurst.
Players in, including number 27, Griffin Goss from Rockhurst.
Under a minute left here in the LAKC championship game.
So historically, thinking back about the teams you've seen here, how do you think this Shawnee Mission East undefeated season team kind of wraps up as among the best teams that have ever played in this area?
I think from my experience personally, this Shawnee Mission East team has been extremely talented, and they've benefited greatly from having Will Garrett and the rest of his coaching staff there for a number of years now. And as you can tell, everyone's starting to feel this game come to an end. Other teams that notably come in mind here would be the 2009 and 2010 Olathe East teams with Trevor Ecton leading the way. Very talented teams. Rockhurst, just over a decade ago now, was very dominant both here in Kansas City as well as St. Louis. Back to your question, though, I think that this Shawnee Mission East team would be able to compete with some of those prior teams as well.
Well, I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're actually going to see the Shawnee Mission East student section and players kind of meet up. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who let us kind of grow together through this experience, Scott. It was wonderful announcing with you, and I think we saw the best team win. This team was dominant all year, and it was a pleasure to watch them play and a pleasure to watch this game with both teams completely selling out for their team.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. I'll tell you what, I've had a fantastic time this afternoon getting the opportunity to call this game with you here in the booth, and it has just been a tremendous year for lacrosse here in the Kansas City metro area. And I'd like to take this opportunity to also wish you, Jack, the best of luck moving forward next year as you begin your collegiate career at Whittier College out in California, and to any of the other seniors who are moving on after this season and continuing their lacrosse career at the collegiate level.
Looks like both teams are going to, despite all the fireworks on the field we saw today, I think both these teams have a healthy level of respect for each other and kind of come together and are going to have a good shake because these teams have grown up against each other. Like we talked about, I've played with most of them, you've coached most of them. I think it's just going to show the respect between these two teams.
Yeah, lacrosse is called a gentleman's sport. I really believe that. And, here we see that regardless of the outcome, you get a good shake, you say great game. And, many of these kids actually will even be playing on the same travel teams this summer.
For sure.
So, excellent game by both teams. And congratulations to Shawnee Mission East for being the 2019 LAKC undefeated champions. Here we can see the Shawnee Mission East players gathering together for the trophy ceremony, which will take place on midfield. All right, we're going to go ahead and pass it over to Mike McKenna for the announcing and the presentation here of the trophy by Club President Brian Fries.
Brian, the trophy to the winning team. And there's your two. The MVP of the game is number 9, Will Moore. Congratulations.
All right, we will be back with you after a short 30-second commercial break.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, congratulations to your 2019 champions, the Shawnee Mission East Lancers, completing the undefeated season. I think they have left an excellent legacy at their school and as this team, having won 3 championships to the senior class in the last 4 years, only losing their sophomore year in the championship game. Again, we just want to say thank you so much to everyone who came, watched the games, came out to UMKC to watch the games. I know we had some weather delays, we had some weather issues, but we really enjoyed being able to announce this game. I'm speaking for myself, but it was really fun to do this the last couple of days, and the LAKC has been a huge part of my life, and I'm proud to represent it.
Yeah, you know, it has been the culmination of what has been a fantastic season of lacrosse here in Kansas City, Jack. And, you know, I do feel like, you know, the best team definitely won out here in Shawnee Mission East, completing an incredible season on their behalf. So, It has just been a crazy game today. You know, Will Moore, very deserving of the MVP honors, as he had, I don't have the stat line in front of me, but a number of goals and a few assists, being a huge influence in this game, as Will Garrett pointed out he needed to be before the game. So in conclusion here, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We hope everybody listening in enjoys their long Memorial Day weekend. And a reminder that if you are hoping to start playing lacrosse or wanting to contribute to the growth of lacrosse in any way here in the Kansas City metro area, please visit LAKC or kclax.org, the webpage, for more information. Thanks again for joining us, and congratulations to Shawnee Mission East, your 2019 LAKC champions.